Hello and welcome back to Academic Technology at Pillar College. This tutorial will walk through learning outcomes and how to use learning outcomes within Moodle. Learning outcomes are important to our courses, and there should be learning outcomes listed in your syllabi. And so we need to get the learning outcomes from your syllabi into the Moodle course. Learning outcomes will be used more and more frequently as time goes on so that we can actually map these learning outcomes to the specific assignments and tests and quizzes that we have in our course. That way, Moodle can allow us to run a report that will show us exactly how we're doing. Are we actually meeting these learning outcomes? For each student, is that student receiving what they're supposed to be from the course? And is the course as a whole succeeding in teaching students these things? So it will be important to tie learning outcomes to your assignments and quizzes and tests. So when you log into your course website, we'll scroll down to where we see the administration block. Inside the administration block, about halfway down, you'll see outcomes. Clicking on that will give us a list of learning outcomes. Now you can see this is divided into left and right, the outcomes that are used in this course and the available outcomes that are standard at Pillar College. And so these outcomes should already be defined in your syllabus. If not, it's important to do that. So we can come in here and open up our course syllabus. And when we scroll down to the Learning Outcomes section, we can actually find all of our learning outcomes, and the ones that are standard at Pillar College we can include, and the ones that are not we can add. All right, so let's come back to our course website, and we'll choose the ones that are applicable to this course. Now, if I just click on these outcomes, I can only choose one at a time. But if I hold down the Control key in Windows or the Command key in the Mac and continue clicking, I can actually select several of these at one time. And if there are things that I've selected that I didn't want, I can click on them again. As long as I'm holding that Control or Command key down, I can select and deselect several items at once. And when I'm ready, I choose Add. Add will actually move these particular outcomes from the general section into this course. If I accidentally added one that I don't need, then I can click on that. And again, I can select several by holding the Control or Command key down. And then I click on Remove, and that adds it back to this other list. Now there will almost always be some outcomes that are not in this current list, so we can choose Edit Outcomes. First of all, this lets us see the full description here of the outcome. And each outcome has a short name as well for quick reference, and these need to be unique short names. That's a way that the computer can keep track of these. But we'll say add a new outcome. And so we can choose the full name will actually be one of these outcomes. And so we can choose Offer and Receive Constructive Group Critique, and copy and paste that into the full name. Make sure that you don't have your bullets and things in there. And the short name, we could say, we could name it by the course itself, which I believe was COM 115. And we can say -1 in case we're going to add several. Now you do have to choose a grading scale, and currently we just have this separate and connected ways of knowing. So just choose the default from the list here. Is this a standard outcome? Just means should we add that to the list for every available to every course? And in this case, we're just going to leave this as a course-specific outcome. And then the description, you can actually give a longer description if you want to, or leave the description blank. So we'll come down and say Save Changes. All right, now we come back to this list, and you can see this particular outcome was added here. If we need to edit the particular outcome, if we've misspelled something or need to add a full description or elaborate, we can always come back and choose the Edit icon. If we want to delete this outcome from the course, we choose the Delete icon. All right. Meanwhile, when we're done, we can choose to come back from Outcomes. You can just go back to the Outcomes button. That brings us back here. Now you can see that outcome was automatically to our list, the custom outcome, and you can't remove that. It says no remove. The only way to remove that would be to go back into Edit Outcomes and delete our custom outcome. Right, so that's how you add the outcomes to the course. In the next tutorial, we'll show you how to actually match those outcomes to the specific assignments in your course.